Hello, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a scene in A Death of the Dark Crusade Season 2. On this wonderful day, the streets of Old Town are rife with activity. Crowds of people going about their daily business, shopping within the central market and the merchants district. Children playing on the streets, performers looking to make a bit of coin for the day, earn their keep, and labourers working on the construction of a nearby building. A new home, it would appear. All of this noise, however, this boisterous backdrop, serves as a great cover for a very, very different set of characters, very divorced from the day's normal state of events. An aging man seems like he's maybe entering his 40s, if not already there. Shuffles throughout Old Town, followed by a somewhat shady set of followers. Padded clothing, light armoring beneath their cloaks and shirts. They blend into the crowds of the city's hustle and bustle, busy as it is. They're shuffling from road to road, an occasional alley. Blurring quite neatly with the brown walls and the horde of dust kicked up by the crowds of small folk. As they approach a fairly nondescript looking building, a fair bit out of the way from the rest of the city's residences. The older gentleman just stands by the door. Waits for a moment. He calls over one of his followers. Garland. And life is good. You're asleep. It's about noon. Would you like to make me a perception plus all specs roll? You don't need all specs to make this roll, but if you don't have it, then roll without it. Just roll your perception.
Alrighty. All right, I got a 7, 10, and a 6.
That is one success. You're fairly inoculated to the great volume of traffic that doesn't pass by your house, but passes by the nearby neighborhoods. Not many people walk by your house. It's one of the reasons it makes a good place to stay. Not many people will come in and bother. Nothing to see here along this particular road. But you can faintly hear some rattling about a floor in a room above you. It's very faint. There's something that sticks out to you during your day sleep.
Hearing, definitely, for Garland's case, the sudden commotion and thinking back of the rumors that his friends and allies have told him about, he is still vast in the sense of torpor, but his mind is aware in a groggy state. Ugh, they must be here. And he does his best to try to mentally prepare himself, one, for the end, and two, to actually be up in the day. He has never done such a thing. He's not used to such actions.
This is probably the first time in Garland's life that or Garland's own life, that he would have ever awoken during the day. It is a very rare experience for most canines. If you want to awaken, you may remain, quote, asleep. You'll still be aware of what is happening around you because you succeeded on a roll. You may choose to remain asleep and roll whenever it suits you, or rather you can roll now and basically not count those turns until you actually decide to wake up, if you want. Or you can just get up now.
Since he knows his defenses are low and he's not like he slept in battle ready attire, hoping this would be going past him and this wouldn't catch up to him, but it did. He's not necessarily going to be waking up to interact with them. It's more like he's going to wake up, gather his effects, then probably actually go back to sleep until they start slamming down on his door. But I do believe it is a road check, correct? As he has no secret tunnels to another shaded area for the day.
No, this is probably the only properly sunproof area in the entire building.
Yep. Yeah, because
so yes, you may roll your road rating difficulty 8.
That
Okay.
is 1.
You have a single success, so you may awaken for a turn whenever it suits you to do so.
All right. At this point, since I am in my pajamas, I'm aware of that because that's why I took the time to sleep in. I will awake now, but I do have my effects nearby, so I don't have to go all across the cellar area to get all my stuff.
Okay, you have one turn to act in this room, in this cellar, as it were. I'll say there is a stairwell upwards rather than a ladder. So there are a set of stairs upwards. Your effects are nearby.
Yeah. So as I get out of basically this small cot, I'll just spend this turn adorning myself, then going back to sleep and
If
see
you
if I
go
can.
back to sleep, you'll not be able to reawaken. I will say that right now. You'll need to keep making checks, is the problem.
Yeah, okay. I do believe you said I'd have to keep using a willpower to do that, right?
Yeah, unless yeah, no, I believe you would have to yeah. You would have to keep making checks. If you wish to awaken now, adorn yourself and go back to sleep, you would just fall back into torpor.
Okay.
Um,
And I am not sure because I don't believe it is a, as you would say, an extended test. So I can't just keep rolling roll checks till I get 5 so I can stay awake for the rest of the scene. I believe it has to be all at once.
yeah, no, it's not accumulate six successes.
Yeah.
You
All
have
right.
to roll 5 successes in one go, which is quite a task at difficulty 8.
Yes, it is.
So yeah, you can choose to kind of delay your prior action if you want to hold on to that turn and simply wait.
I'll wait
Um,
until I feel that they're directly in the hall to get to my room.
okay. You hear rattling against the door. Your door's not particularly well oiled. It creaks pretty loudly when it opens. You
And is
begin
this
to
the door
hear
to the cottage or door to my actual cellar room?
door to the house,
Okay.
um, and you can hear the creeping footsteps of those above you. Multiple footsteps. You sense more than one person. The footsteps are too frequent and often um, seem to move at an irregular pace. You can't really tell how many there.
I mentally grumble that they brought a party just for me.
Your house isn't a particularly big house, but it does have a few rooms to it.
Yep.
Things go quiet for a little bit. The only thing you can really hear are the sort of footsteps, more like thumping sounds above you. It's quite faint.
I begin to hope that if once they get to the actual ladder and into the hall to the cellar room, that maybe some of the pitfalls might deter them, or at least give me more time. I gotta make my I gotta make my moves as accurate as possible. I have precious little time.
A few minutes pass. You continue to hear the thumping upstairs. Nothing really else. Sometimes they get closer and nearer, sometimes they're directly above you. But then they begin to kind of fade out a little bit more. Seems like they're going around. And you hear another door open. One down the ladder, as you so said.
And with that, begin to oh, I begin to move.
That will take your turn.
Alrighty.
They're not in the room yet. They're in the small corridor that leads to your room. The corridor that is trapped. They're going to make some checks. Oh, that guy failed. And we'll have a second one as well. Because... Okay. They learned their lesson. So I will roll. I'll treat it as a 4. Oh shit, wow, okay. Nope. You hear your one of your traps go off. You hear several of them go off, in fact. You hear the familiar kind of shifting of soil and rubble. It's very distinct and it's quite loud. And you hear the scream of a single young man violently cut off.
Garland takes a mental note. Okay, that's one. But I didn't hear any other screams, and I still don't know the exact numbers of the footsteps, so not out of the woods yet. This will just piss most of them off. This will just...
You hear other 2 traps go off, but you hear no noise to accompany them, other than the shifting of heavy feet. You then begin to hear something stabbing the ground. It's like it's kind of like a sound metal hitting saw makes, a bit like a shovel. Not quite as distinct or iconic as a shovel, though.
Through his mind, he's like, are they trying to dig a hole, or are they trying to figure out the creases? And he starts going through his mind. I should have trained those dogs better, and I should have kept that. Thinks about his one human goal. I should have kept him on a tighter leash. Like, just thinking all the stuff that he should have done, so this would be less dangerous for himself.
Well, you took your action, I believe, to move. Where did you move to?
Didn't initially move to anywhere. It'd be kind of like the like if you do this, I do this. I keep the clothes I'm going to wear the next day next to my bed, so I don't have to go looking for them.
So he's getting changed as his action.
I'm not in armor, and if I'm actually going to get in a fight, I might as well get in armor and start making some rolls.
Okay. That will be your turn, so you'll need to begin spending a willpower and making road checks.
Yep.
To continue at this point. I'll be nice and just say putting your armor on takes only a single action. It's not the super heavy armor that would take longer. If it were heavy armor or knight armor, it would be a few minutes. This is not that, so I'll just say it's a single action. It's fairly practical.
All right, so I believe I am down to 2 because my real power is up to 4, but I believe I was at 3, and I already used 1 for the.
I'll say the willpower that is spent, that must be spent, will contribute towards the successes.
Yes, I am aware.
Good thing too, you get a single extra turn to work with. You can hear footsteps approaching the door. Is this door locked, by the way?
Yes.
Was anyone expected to make it this far?
Yeah. I was hoping to never ever have this situation arise. Thus the lack of security.
Okay, then we'll have someone try and unlock the door. Actually, how's it locked? They might just be able to muscle it down.
Oh, it's the door is locked by a key and a piece of wood. So it's boarded and key locked. So I have to take off the wooden plank first, then unlock the door, then walk out.
Okay. Have someone on our team make a larceny check. Or, is it larceny? Do we even have larceny?
Legerdemain at this time.
I think it's legerdemain, yeah. Yeah. Legerdemain it is. This is a thief. Wow. Yeah, you just hit a bolt in the lock, just turn and click. It literally takes them less than an action. they undo that lock in 3 seconds.
Another part of my mind. I went to self. I should have hit that back in Wilhelm's quarters.
Okay. And yes, with that, they try and open the door, but find that it will not open. That will have a be that turn. So you'll need to spend willpower again and make a road check. You're feeling very tired right now. You're not getting very lucky on these rolls. You get another turn. They're going to try and breach the door. They will have 2 people try and do this. They are coming in with equipment that will allow them to breach a boarded door. Okay. Say they have 3 people on it, because it won't have enough for all of them. Should have enough for 3 though. Okay, that guy does very well. And that guy does not do very well. So they begin busting the door. You don't actually hear any voices at all. There's been no sign of actual human life, and in the sense that you don't actually hear anyone speaking. But now you can hear the very loud sounds of something banging against the door. And banging, and banging, and it goes on the 3rd one, the board begins to crack. It is not busted yet, but they will bust through in a matter of a few seconds. That is their action. You have an action to do whatever you want during this time.
Unfortunately, these guys are going to be thorough. Like, I can't pretend to be dead. I'm already dead. I have to think. Well, I got individuals behind the door, right?
There's definitely people trying to knock this door down.
Okay. Well, actually, wait, no, I don't think my generation's enough to spend 2 blood to do celerity and potence. Bummers.
To my knowledge, bourgeois celerity ignores generational limits. That's how it was in V20. I will just double check it for you now. Because otherwise, you know, if a bourgeois wanted to go had celerity 5 and wanted to take 5 actions but could only spend 1 blood a turn, then oops, looks like they can only get the benefits of celerity 1, which doesn't actually make much sense. I will have a double check for you. I'm pretty sure I read it somewhere. It's not in V20 Dark Ages, but if V20 Dark Ages doesn't overrule V20, then I'm just going to use the V20 interpretation of that rule set. Yeah, this expenditure can go beyond her normal generation maximum. So, and Dark Ages doesn't overrule that rule, so it doesn't contradict it. So I'm going to say you may spend blood for potence and celerity, as you can ignore generational maximums for celerity expenditure.
All right. Then I'm going to spend a blood for celerity and a blood for potence. And
okay.
My first action with this blood-borne expenditure is basically, let's see, I don't have the brawl for this. I'm just going to basically force it to happen. I'm going to basically try to slam a door into them. Let's see if I can cause a commotion to maneuver around them or maneuver into them to try to take them out.
Yeah, you want to try and break through the door?
Yeah. If the example would be if you play a few stealth games, there's open the door quietly, then just kicking down the door. The advantage of kicking down the door is somebody's behind the door that get knocked down, kind of situation, or at least disoriented. That's what
I assume you lift off the board before that, like you just fling it off.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that will make this roll a lot. Well, it will decrease the success threshold. Yeah, go ahead. Make a straight strength brawl check.
All right.
Standard difficulty.
I do not have brawl, so I just have strength.
No.
And I use only 1 blood for potence. So
this is a feat of strength, so potence does give additional successes.
So I think actually I only have 3 dice for this. But I do have a guaranteed success because I did use potence. So
okay, the door was already heavily damaged. It was really only the board keeping the door from being knocked down. Like the door was being pierced by some sort of large wooden implement, not too dissimilar from like a battering ram. Or if it was like a wooden implement with like a metal with a metal butt. So it was being like the metal butt was being used to break through. With 4 successes, I'll say without the board, that is definitely enough to break through a wooden door easily. You run right through the door, catching the other 3 on the other side of the door, quite off guard. Could you make me a Dex brawl check to see if you hit one of them?
All right.
I'll say difficulty 4 because it's a fairly tight corridor and there's 3 of them in front of the door.
Okay,
this will be bashing damage.
That'd be 5 from 1 slate I still have left, -1 from the armor. So yeah, it's 4 dice. All right, 10, 6, and 6. So 3 successes, hopefully.
Yep, so 4 plus the automatic successes on your potence, plus the strength, so that is 3, plus the strength is 2, is 5, plus 2. Yeah, so it's off. Damage is 5 dice. So you do 4 bashing damage. This guy will roll his soak. Will say you caught the person who was initially lockpicking it, they're not as durable as their friends. They do, however, get 2 successes. So you shoulder bash into the. You literally grab your elbow, bring your arm up to your side, and then ram through that door, shattering it completely after just flinging the board to one side. Literally, as they're about to bust through the door, you run through, throwing one against the wall, causing the other to almost lose their balance and fall, and the lockpick to be literally carried with you as you run, dealing him a nasty, and you can literally hear like the sort of crack as you hit him enough force in his torso that you actually crack a rib. We're now going to roll initiative.
Alrighty.
So I'll say this. This is what you see before we begin initiative. You see 5 hunters. One is up against the wall to your right. That is the one that you kind of ended up forcing into the wall. There is another who is just regaining their balance. There is the one that you have basically barged into and have since been knocked to the ground. They'll have to get back up. It's in a fairly thin corridor. There are 2 others who managed to get out of the way. They are just behind the guy that you knocked to the ground. They were not bashing in the door. They were standing watch. One of them, both of them, they're the only 2 who have their weapons out. They are both wielding torches in their offhand.
Of course they are.
They have also put down torches throughout most of this corridor. It is a well-lit room, and the fire makes you uneasy.
For my roll for initiative.
Actually, you spent for a celerity action, didn't you? So you do get a free action before you roll initiative.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But that is what you see as you enter celerity. You also see all of your traps have been triggered, and you can smell the blood of a young man in the pitfall furthest end of the room.
I take a quick moment to see my situation, and my Garland goes quickly. If I can get to the door and bar the door down from them getting up there, I might be able to wait them out. That's a big thing. Might. People
you might be able to wait them out from where?
From blocking off the door that gets to the cellar. That's a big old might. Because people might have noticed these guys come in and go, I wonder why they never came out. And they open up the door, and then the sun gets me, and I die.
So you want to try and block off the door that leads upstairs?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. You easily get to the other side of the room in time with your celerity action.
Yeah.
Yep, that will. The two armed individuals will be able to get to you, and attack you. The others will have to take 4 movement actions to reach you, and only 3 will be able to attack you at once. The corridor's too thin to allow all of them to do it.
Question. This little bit of DDM logic. Can I tumble past them with an acrobatics dex to try to dodge and move, or dex and athletics to try to dodge and maneuver so I don't get slashed up as I try to get past them?
I mean, you already got past them, celerity.
Okay.
Yeah, that however is that will now begin initiative. There are 5 hunters confronting you.
Okay.
So roll your initiative. D10 plus your wits and dex and celerity. -1 because of your armor.
All right. So. Wow, got a 10. I keep getting lucky on these rolls when I'm about to die on initiative. I'm not against that. Just I've been getting 10s and 9s a lot every time I'm about to die. Then with my wits and my dex, that's 7 plus celerity is 9. So that's 19.
So you get. So you're a 19?
Yep.
Thanks.
Actually, no, 18 because minus 1. My bad. So that's 18. I'm sorry.
Oops. Okay, there we go. What the heck am I looking at? Nope. Nope. I had you here somewhere. Where are you? Yeah. So yeah, 7. Celerity is 9. Yeah, minus 1. Yeah, so you're 18. I'm gonna roll 5d10. I'm just gonna say +5. They are wearing one of them, 5 of them will roll, 4 of them will roll d10 +5. The one you knock down will roll d10 +6 because he's more lightly armored. So one gets a 6.
Oh, well, that works. I didn't know we had more stuff we could use. I'd be using more. I'd be using the. I could be using different equations for this to make it faster. I'll keep that in mind.
Oh, another 6. Okay. Hunter 2 and Hunter 1 are twins, apparently. Third one. Oh, this one gets 13. He goes above his brethren. The 4 gets 9. And Hunter 5 acts with a +6. 14. So, Garland, I believe you'll need to make a spend willpower, make another road check.
Yes, I do. I believe this is my last time I can do it too. So
Yeah.
hope I get lucky.
Ooh, that's much better actually. That's 4 successes.
Wow.
So that enables you to remain active for if you got the 5 there, that would have been the whole scene. You wouldn't have to roll.
Yep.
Let me just double check. It is. Yeah, so
close.
you are able to act for 4 whole turns before the day sleep takes you. TikTok.
Well, if I was a stronger Bruja and an angrier one, I might try to fight them in the small corridor, but I'm not. So all I'm gonna do is try to get a top of the ladder or the stairs, depending on how you described it. I forgot. Because if it's a ladder, I'm grabbing the ladder as I'm going up, and I'm basically going to start pawing stuff on the door. It's like, I'll deal with you guys once the sun goes down. So I think, because
What you do?
so, do I need to roll anything to try to commit to these actions?
What are you rolling?
I don't know. I'm trying to roll past to get past these guys to get it past the ladder and hopefully not get slashed to hell.
So you're trying to run back across the room.
No, I'm trying to go out through this the ladder and or stairs.
Okay.
And try to block off the door for them to come up.
So you're trying to get up the ladder.
Yes.
Okay. So you notice up the ladder the kind of cellar door there. Is open. You can go up that ladder if you want.
Yes, I'm not going to fight them down in here. That just doesn't seem wise. I'm not a combat character. If I was, I would have only presence 1 and celerity and potence up to 3 or 4.
Friendly advice: if you do go up there, you lose an action, and they'll just wait for you to fall back asleep.
Yeah, they will. But maybe I find enough heavy stuff, they have a hell of a time getting out, or maybe make it impossible for them. I don't know. There's not a lot of stuff up there, but maybe just enough.
You are aware they have triggered all of your traps. You've seen them. You've seen the arrows that have littered the ground and the 2 pitfalls. Only one has a body in them.
Yep, I am aware.
But... So, yeah, you wouldn't really be making things any more difficult for them by staying up there. In fact, it would probably be making it easier for them. They wouldn't be able to attack you, but at the same time, they could just wait you out.
Yeah, they could wait me out tonight, and then I don't have to make so many rolls. That's the biggest thing. I'm trying to wait him out. My mindset is I want to wait him out at night, because I don't want to fight him up in that tunnel. And even if I was gonna go, hey, I'll keep the door open, try to fight him off the ladder. It's like
you won't be able to wait them out for 8 hours. It would be fairly trivial for them to just climb back up and then kill you during day sleep if you fell back asleep.
No, that's what I was curious about. I was like, if I could find enough heavy things to bar the door where it's impossible, because they have to work against gravity at that point, too.
Not in 4 turns.
Nah.
Yeah. And it's unlikely you would be able to do that over the course of a few hours anyway. Probably not that much of that sort of thing in here.
Okay.
In this building. You've basically got run recourse. You have to kill them now.
Okay.
Like if you can try and run away, but you'll just die to sunlight, or they'll just wait you out, and then you'll fall back asleep, and then they'll kill you.
Yep. And and this is definitely due to generation, I cannot entrance and celerity and potence at the same time.
No, you'd need to be 8th generation to do that.
Yep.
Actually, possibly not even that, because using presence takes up an action.
So I am going to do this then. I'm going to do what Brutos do. Utter and quick violence. And I am going to spend a blood point on... I'm going to spend 2 blood on celerity and 1 blood point on... which will put me down to
3.
Yeah,
if you're spending 2 blood points, you will be at hunger. Yeah. Let me just check your stats. Your virtues. Oh, your virtues here.
Yeah, because I had 7, then I used 2 to open up the door and run. Then using celerity 2, there'll be another 2. Part of me wants to put a point in dex, but then I'll be at blood 2, and I might frenzy. And I don't want to be out of control for this, so I'm just going to do celerity 2, and yeah.
So you're just going celerity 2?
Yep. Using some utmost violence and using my knives.
Okay, so just celerity 2, no potence?
Yep, no potence.
Okay. That puts you to 2 blood. You are now hungry. There is the smell of fresh blood in the air.
Oh, if I have time to prove my monstrous nature and eat somebody in this combat, I'll take some time on that.
Oh no! What I'm saying is, after your attack, you will need to roll self-control.
All right, and curious. I am ambidextrous. Does that allow me to dual wield?
It allows you to wield a weapon in your offhand without penalty.
Yes.
It doesn't allow you to make 2 attacks in a row without celerity, though. It doesn't double your action rate. There's not really any mechanics with your warding in the game. It is kind of a problem.
Yeah, that is up to you how you want to interpret it. If not, I am going with the violence of cutting out one of their eyes for this first action.
Okay. Are you specifically targeting an eye, or are you
Yes, I want to blind them. If I don't kill him with the slash, I hope to blind the first victim I go after.
Okay, that's +3 diff to the roll. What weapon are you using?
My knives.
Okay, so that's diff 5 +3 is 8. No, they're wielding swords, so they have reach on you, so it's diff 9.
Okay. All right, and I don't have my dex bonuses anymore, so that's 7. Yeah, 7 dice.
Technically, it might be diff 10, I'm not sure, but I'll just say it's diff 9. Okay, so you hit one of them in the eyes. You do, I'll say you do +2 additional damage because of this. So it's a strength. It's strength plus
Potence
plus your potence +3. Sorry, it's strength. Strength. Okay, I see. It's you plus. We'll say 1 success from the roll, 1 from the knife, 2 from the court shot, and 1 from the weapon. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage. Okay, they don't get to use the armor for this. Yeah, so you stab one in the eyes, dealing 1, 2, 3, 4 lethal damage to them, causing the lockpick to scream out in pain. Not the lockpick. Is it the lockpick you're striking? Is it one of the armed ones? Sorry, it's the armed one you're striking because they had reach on you. Yeah. So yeah, you cause yeah, this fairly young Arabic man to scream out in pain as you just stab one of his eyes, leaving his pupil and iris just bleeding profusely with blood mixed in, leaving it at +2 difficulty to all subsequent attacks. As he takes heavy damage, looks horribly wounded. In fact, you did more damage than he has stamina. So I think you stun him. He can't attack this turn.
All right. Then my first.
That'll be after everybody else.
Okay.
Celerity actions take place after mainline actions. Yeah. So.
Yep.
So let's say this is Hunter 3 is one of the armed ones. So. He's at mauled. Hunter 14 will now make his play. Sorry, Hunter 14, Hunter 5. 14 hunters. Yeah, grim days. He'll make an attack for you.
Maybe I should have divided my dice to dodge.
You can spend your additional action attempting to dodge.
That's true. I will use one of them. Survival is most important right now.
Okay. Yep. Beat 3 successes, or match 3 successes, rather. Your dex athletics, you don't get celerity dice because you're spending both of them, and you -1 because of armor.
Yep, I'm rolling 7d10. So 1, 2.
You do.
Yep.
You manage to leap out of the way of the arcing strike. The sword clangs and blunts itself ever so slightly against the floor. Hunter 13 is Hunter 13. Hunter 3 is stunned. He's screaming out in pain, stumbling against the wall. He's trying to regain his sense of bearing, but he can't. His vision is blurry, and his body he's fighting against the sense of shock that his body is entering. He stumbles back, and Hunter 4 pulls him back by the shoulder to take his place, and arms herself. Again, a seeming native of this city. And she arms herself with... she literally just picks up the torch nearest to her, but she cannot take a symbol this turn, an attack this time. The rest of them will begin to move towards you, largely shutting down any means of getting past them, either by going over them or through them. Hunter 1 arms himself. He is the aging gentleman as described before, wearing the symbol of Islam, the star and the crescent around his neck. He closes in on you, seemingly ignoring the suffering of his brethren. Looks at you with this steely, cold gaze, unperturbed by your nature or the chaos you are causing. Hunter 2 also arms himself, grabs his sword. And it is now your... oh no, you spent your celerity action dodging.
I've spent one of them. I have celerity 2, and I spent 2. So I have
yeah,
one.
That's true. So you have an additional action.
Alrighty. So, thanks.
Something to note is around Hunter 1, you feel strangely unnerved. It's hard to pinpoint why.
I don't need to deal with True Faith right now. Hey.
It could be using presence. Could be a ghoul.
I wish I had points of brawl and I could start swinging motherfuckers with other motherfuckers, but I'm more finesse than that. So that's the problem here. Because this is still a small tunnel. If I could use one of these guys literally as a bowling ball, I would do that. But that's not a lot of dice. And the old man's already proven something to me, that trying to threaten them with the death of somebody is not probably going to help too much. And that also involves grappling, possibly. And again, no brawl. Because even if I were able to instant KO these guys, I would have to have done that with my first 3 celerity actions. Which, again, not the kind of Bruja. Not yet, at least. So it's time to fight dirty. All right. With the guy that is next to me right now, since one of them's already been kind of released, I'm going to do a similar action, more or less. I'm going to try to blind that guy. So,
okay, which one?
The one still next to me, because there's 2 next to the ladder, right? Or am I still at my door? Because I thought
there's another armed individual near you.
Yeah.
There are 2. The one that you stunned has been pulled back. To be fair, there are multiple armed individuals near you now. There are 3 because they've all closed down on you. Yes, there is a... the one who replaced the stunned man is a torchbearer. There is another man in his mid-30s wielding a sword. And there is the aging man in his 40s. Who appears to... also be wielding a weapon. A sword.
So, yeah.
And a torch, to be fair, in his offhand.
Alright. I swing with my blade to the guy that was also next to the ladder and try to gouge out his eyes as well.
Okay, stiff 9.
1, 2, 3. Why couldn't it have been a diff 8, man? I could have gave me 4. As I swing quickly with unhuman speed, basically trying to almost carve out his pupils.
Yeah, just note that you should be rolling 6 dice, not 7. All of those successes occurred below that point, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, because you're losing 1 because of your armor.
Yeah, I should have. I have 4 decks plus my knives, which is our 4. So that's 8 minus 1 would be 7.
I do not have you recorded here. Actually, I think you did mention upgrading.
I did. Yeah, because I talked about specialty. I was like, hey, could I have light weapons? You said, nah, that's too vague. And I said, oh, can I have knives instead? And then you said, yeah, that works.
I think it might be because you put in your XP late, so I didn't update it at all. I'm just double checking.
I believe it was on my 5th page.
Now 3 for 4 XP.
Yeah.
Yep,
on April 2nd, 2018.
Yeah, I see it, yeah. That's fine. Yeah, I'll update your sheet. Yeah, no, that's fine. My apologies. It's me not being dutiful in my bookkeeping. Yeah, no. Just roll 2 plus 2. I think it's just 7 dice again, actually.
Yeah, same successes. It was so. You can.
I think you got 1 more success because your last ones you roll.
Oh, it's 60-10 because I got 3 successes the first time I did it.
You check. I hate this math. I hate math. 2 is your strength, 2 is your potence, 1 from a dagger.
Oh, I have 1 extra success, so you're right, I think.
2 is your strength, 2 is your potence, 1 from the dagger, 2 from the cold shot, which is 7, and then 2 from your successes. So you get 9 damage.
Eeg.
You do 2 lethal to this man. They will suffer. This person's hunted 2. You do not stun them. They have a +2 diff to all subsequent attacks. You stab them again in the eye, doing significant damage to them, and putting them down to hurt. This person is wounded, not mauled. That is your final celerity action, if I recall. Yeah. So it's supernatural speed. You stab 1 and then pull out the knife, slashing the other in a furious spin. But the other hunters have time to react now. And that is It is at the top of the round. Can you make me a self-control check? Because you are now hungry, and you can smell blood.
I can.
You are fine. You're able to resist the urge to jump into the pit and consume the corpse of the dead fool that tried to trespass upon your home. You may have take your action now.
Problem is, I don't know if I have enough time.
You have 3 turns.
It's more or less the risk of celerity grappling a guy and just feeding off him. Because I just stabbed a dude in his eye. I know he's not stunned, but it's like I need the blood, and like I can't. If I don't use blood, I'm gonna get overwhelmed, and I need more blood. And there's 5 sacks right in front of me, and 2 of them are much more available to me right now. So here's my question: can I spend a point of celerity and a point of points to grapple somebody right now and just basically start going full on vampire, just ripping the guy's throat out and drinking his blood?
The celerity action will happen at the end of everybody else's action.
Yeah. But I would have a guy grapple. Could I use him as a human shield while I'm doing that?
They're unlikely.
Yeah, okay.
Like you wouldn't apply to all of them. Maybe one of them, but not all of them. Like they're literally surrounding you. They're closing down on you. Some of these characters will be getting flanking bonuses on this turn.
I was curious about that because I was hoping I was next to the wall because I'm next to the ladder.
There's still so many more of them than are of you. Like they can attack you from multiple sides and not the other.
Yeah.
Like your back isn't open to them, but they can still attack you from your left and right side, and you can't defend against all of them. They have an advantage in sheer numbers.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me.
So, yeah. But you may attempt to grapple someone, yes. It will be a contested roll. It's your strength roll versus theirs. You do get to add your potence.
Yeah.
Who do you wish to grab? You have a high selection.
I'm going to grab the guy that I just blind because he'd be the most logical target.
There is someone directly in front of you, blocking you. As I recall from last turn, Hunter 4, she is standing with a torch directly in front of this gentleman. She literally pulled him out of the range of your attack.
No, what about the other guy that I just cut his eye? I just didn't stagger him.
He's definitely he's available.
All
He
right.
uses some dice. Yep.
Okay, so let's see. I'm probably gonna need celerity. I want to guarantee something with potence, but I'll leave me at 1 blood. I'd probably start frenzying at that point.
Is that really a disadvantage here?
I don't know. I would like to have control of my character, but it's true. I could just go on full bourgeois raids. If for some reason I live, drain the guy, and just start carving people down.
Don't control nothing if you're dead, bro.
I know. I had that control fear thing, but you said I couldn't have it.
No, you didn't get it yet.
Yeah, you told me I couldn't have it. This is the main situation why I wanted to have it, just in case something like this happened. I blame you.
So, yeah, you're gonna grab that guy?
Yeah, I'm gonna grab that guy, and I'm gonna spend 1 point for potence, 1 point of celerity.
Okay.
So I'm at 1 blood.
You are now 1 blood, yes. You are starving. And I shouldn't have had you be rolling self-control above how many blood points you have. But I will let that slide. You will get to roll one dice for self-control next turn. Yes. Okay. If you are pulled off this guy, at least.
All right. So I still have 1 point of celerity, so my dex is at what? It'd be at 4. Yeah. Because I still lose the 1.
Yeah, it's just strength brawl. You don't take your armor penalty into account here. It applies to dex, not strength.
Okay. All right. Then that's... And I lose my extra dice for potence because I'm using potence right now. So it's 2 plus brawl.
Pardon? You don't use extra dice for potence.
You don't? I thought when you activate potence, you lose the bonus to strength. You get the successes.
Yeah, you get automatic successes.
Okay. Then all right. Then I just roll my 2 dots of strength. Then
Plus your brawl. Oh, you don't have brawl, sorry.
I don't have brawl. That's why I was kind of iffy about doing this, but I get lucky
Ooh,
anyway.
you get really lucky. Yeah, you get really lucky. Yeah, you do grab him. Yep. Your fangs protrude, you grab him, and it becomes blindingly obvious to everyone in the room what you intend to do.
Fear me in despair. You should run away. I'm losing it.
No.
This only strengthens the
The
resolve.
lovely young lady wielding the torch will now hit you with it.
No.
You may not dodge, you are grappling someone.
Yeah.
It's getting a flanking bonus on you.
No. I'm
She
grabbing.
failed, but she sucks.
Wow.
Hilariously. That's really funny. The other guy's at +2 difficulty to attack you, and is it wounded? Not getting a flanking bonus. He fails as well. Hunter falls? No. That's...
Mm-hmm.
5 is a torchbearer, not Hunter 4. Hunter 4 will...
So yeah, this was more nice. I just would have put C4 around my house and blew me up. That would have been fun.
How many people are trying to attack you right now? Okay. They're going to try and pull you off this person.
Fuck off. Let me have this.
They will not be attacking you so as to make room for that other compatriot. Actually, no, they can't do that because they still have to be near you. So they're going to pick up one of the torches they planted and throw it at you. Oh, they hit you.
A glancing blow.
That does ag damage. It's a fucking torch.
Hey, I understand because I'm a dried corpse. But even a human hit with a torch, it's like, ow, that would burn. 1st-degree burns. Damn my vampirism.
Yeah, I'm actually going to see how much damage certain improvised thrown weapons do. Literally throws it at you, just flings it to try and force you off. Combat maneuvers need to go all the way down. Here we go. What should we treat this weapon as? Okay. We'll treat it as... So any thrown weapon which makes sense. That's a javelin. Yeah, we'll treat it as a rock. That's basically what it's being used as.
It does ag damage.
Yeah, basically an easier to throw rock. But does ag damage. So the strength +0 bashing in thrown damage. So this person got 1 success.
You could do 1 point of ag to me.
I'll do 1 point of ag to you. You are burned. Can you please make me a courage check?
Make it. If only I had that 1 point of fortitude, literally.
You got a 9 on, so you should only be rolling 1 dice on virtue checks. You have 1 blood point in your system.
Yes.
Yeah, you take it. And you are knocked down to. You healed only to bruise, didn't you?
Yeah, so I'm at minus.
You're hurt now.
Yeah.
Okay. I actually completely skipped over the hunter you were trying to grab. Because he does get an action to try and force himself off you. No, I didn't. We're at Hunter 1 now. Hunter 1 will hit you.
Tell him the fuck off.
He does not get a flanking bonus because he was attacking you more or less from the front. Oh, he does well.
So is he like struggling with his arm trying to stab me, or just...
He's striking you with a broadsword. So what he will do, you can apply your armor to this. Is his strength is quite high. +3, 7. +1 is 8. Yeah, he does 4 lethal to you. Oh, that is unfortunate. So he comes down to you, this aging man, almost as if it's ceremonial, just raises his sword up again. Just his eyes just thinner than a razor's edge, and just brings up this sword. His back straightens, his shoulders broaden, and then he just slams it down on you. Just piercing straight through your armor, opening up your torso and your stomach. A brief splatter as blood, precious vitae, pours out, doing enormous damage to you. You can barely stand after what he has done. You are knocked down to, you take 4 lethal and are knocked down to crippled. In fact, you are literally brought to your knees, it crippled. He strikes you with such force that it briefly overwhelms your potence, and the floor buckles under your knees. And he just looks down on you as we continue to our final hunter, who's the one you've been grabbing. He will make an attempt to get away from you. Let's see if he can. Yes, so would you mind rolling me your strength plus your roll?
I don't get to keep the 4?
No. So basically you grappled him before he actually had his turn, which means on his turn, the only thing he actually can do is struggle to get free.
Well, I'm at -5 if I remember right. So
yeah, so
I don't think I have dice.
Nope. I'll say you can roll a dice, but the difficulty is +3. You need to get a 9 or a 10 to succeed.
All right, then
you still apply your potence, which means you're fine because he got no successes.
Wow. Yeah, I would have gave it 3 because I used potence. I had 3 successes versus 0. I somehow lived through this one round, and I do believe
it is now your celerity action. Yes.
Well, I'm gonna do what I meant to do. I'm basically going to drain this guy dry. Just like, fuck this.
Kendrick can only take 3 blood points a turn from their prey. You must also make a check. The difficulty is -3, I think.
Damage the
because your
dead.
victim is struggling. So, but you
Yeah.
have them grappled, so it's just why it's -3.
All right. So another brawl check then.
Another roll check. This is just standard diff. Normally it would be. I mean, you don't have any willpower to ignore win penalties.
Oh, don't. I have just the 2 successes from my opponents then.
It's a dex brawl.
Oh, dex.
Actually, let me double check for you. Let me double check. It might be strength brawl. I will just double check this for you. Because I think biting is actually a combat maneuver.
It is a combat maneuver. It's the only way for vampires that don't have claws and whatnot to do
Bite
aggro.
once it's dex plus. Oh, you get +1 dice as well, which isn't really relevant here because I think even with that it wouldn't matter. Yeah, so you get your dex plus your brawl +1. You deal strength +1 in. No, because you're trying to feed, so you don't deal damage. It does effectively deal damage to mortals, though.
So if I'm using my dex, that's 5 minus 5, which is still 0 dice because I have no brawl.
Yeah. They could single dice roll diff 6.
Okay. Now it looks like I use my last blood point. Go in the torpor as I feed off of him.
That will immediately trigger a frenzy, which is fine because then you lose all your wound penalties. Isn't that great? You will, however, be unable to do anything other than feed or heal. However,
yeah, they're gonna try to stab and burn me to death at that point. So, yeah.
No, he struggles. You nip him. Like he's struggling and you can't get him, and your body is just racked with pain. Fortunately, it's the top of the round, and you get to act again.
Okay. All right.
I think this is the 3rd turn now.
Yep. Time to go nuts. I'm gonna spend my last blood point and put it in the stamina. And
okay. They'll trigger a frenzy. Because you are literally going down to 0 blood. You automatically hunger frenzy at this point.
Yep.
So yeah, your stamina goes up. Your beast takes full control. You black out completely. Like at this point, Garland is no longer at the wheel. The beast is in full control. You don't even know what's going on. Garland effectively enters a fugue state. And you may use all the dice at your disposal to eat this guy.
Okay. Well, if it's still Dex Brawl, then that's because I didn't use Celerity. That's like 9 dice. That's what? That's 6 Dex minus 1 is actually 5. Then no brawl. If there's no brawl, then yeah, there's 5 dice. Then no brawl.
Oh, and you actually get him. So you are able to feed from this man. Yeah, the beast begins draining blood from this man. As everyone sees, all the hunters see one of their brethren's life being consumed by this monster that has now chosen to reveal its true self.
And unless I can use Celerity as a free action, because I believe the beast uses all available options to survive. Since I have more blood in my system, what would the beast continue to do at this point?
Well, I've got 3 blood back from... The best options it has at this point, for survival's sake, would be engaging in more... One second, I also need to roll self-control for the hunter. Okay, yeah, he's under the effects of the kiss. Would be probably to just invest in stamina for the moment. and spend celerity to hasten the process of drinking blood.
So another point into stamina, so my stamina's 4, then a point in celerity.
It now has 1 blood. It will not be sated by killing this one victim. It will need to kill everyone in the room.
Well, that was kind of the plan anyways, but I'm also severely injured. Another random torch throw could take me down, possibly.
Speaking of torchbearers, there is that one hunter who gets a flanking bonus. He cries out and attempts to strike you with the torch, pressing it against into your side, trying to melt through your flesh and into your heart. She does well. Oh yeah, you can actually spend armor to resist ag damage if it's done directly at you. Let's treat it as a +1 bashing weapon turned ag. That's free, +1/+1.
I do believe I'm only rolling my armor, or I'm also rolling my stamina.
You only roll your armor. Your stamina does not soak against ag.
Nope.
Oh, you need 3 successes or you get torpid.
Eek.
I'm sorry, dude. Garland is brought down as this woman violently attempts to pierce his chest with this torch, finding an opening left by the aging man, this supposed leader of these hunters. She manages to lodge the torch in your torso, burning open your innards, racking the beast with so much pain that it can no longer function. And even the animal within is brought down. The man you attempted to consume is released from the kiss and in a gravely wounded state. It is possible and even likely that he will live through this encounter. He did not lose enough blood, although he will be most ill, and it is more likely that infection will take him. The other hunters, the ones you attempted to blind, one of them is most likely going to have to cope with that damage for the rest of their lives. The other, if they're fortunate, most likely heal to at least functional state. As for the old man and the torchbearer, however, the woman is brave but panicked, and she continues to beat your body with this torch. But is stopped by this aging man. We are not beasts. We do not end them like beasts. He will guide her hand with the torch and aim it at Garland's heart. He looks at her, his unnerving calm giving her some sense of solace, helping her to regain her composure. She looks back at Garland, and together, with both their handles on the torch, will pierce Garland's heart with the flame, reducing him to ash. He looks down at the dust of Garland's remains. Ma'asala, my brother, were taken from us too soon. He rises and looks towards his compatriots, gathers up part of Garland's remains. They fish into the pitfall to recover the corpse of their friend. They'll have to have one of their friends in the watch collect him later and give him a proper burial. And with that together, they leave to see if they can find someone to tend to the wounds of their friends. Another beast of the city brought to bear against the fiery swords of heaven. Thank you, players, for playing. And in particular, thank you, Daryl. Thank you, watchers, for watching. We'll see you all next time.